Hey Eagles fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now. Before we jump into today's video, you guys follow me on Twitter, @RealThomasMott, the place to go. Listen, here's the deal. I talk a lot of Philadelphia Eagles news, rumors, and just my general opinion on the Eagles right over there on that Twitter account. So if you can't get enough of me here on Philadelphia Eagles Now, then go ahead and follow me on Twitter, @RealThomasMott. Without further ado, though, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Alright, so the latest Philadelphia Eagles draft news begins with the running back, which we've talked about a little bit here on Philadelphia Eagles Now, but apparently, according to The Athletic, the Eagles are looking at not just a running back, but a quote-unquote big running back. Yes, so the Eagles could be looking at a large, I guess, third down running back, a goal line running back, a short yardage running back in the NFL draft. Now, we know they only have 3 running backs on the roster, and they're pretty good. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and then obviously Elijah Holyfield, who we don't know if he's actually going to turn out to be good, but Sanders is the only real feature back in Philadelphia. Boston Scott, again, needs to, I think, prove himself over an extended period of time instead of just a couple of games towards the end of the season. Great player, but we got to see a little more out of Boston Scott. And with 8 picks in the NFL draft for Philadelphia, running back could be a real opportunity in the mid to late rounds, 3rd, 4th, or 5th round of the 2020 NFL draft. I think we need another running back. You guys in the comments think we need another running back, so let's talk about running backs right now for Philadelphia. The Athletic, Dave Brugler, I believe is how you say his last name, was the one who initially broke the story of the Eagles, almost, guaranteeing they're going to take a running back, saying, quote, "The Eagles are expected to target a big back at some point in this year's draft." Again, that's from, the Athletic. It's a pretty reputable site, and I think that they are pretty accurate in determining that Philadelphia is going to go ahead and need a running back. We've talked about depth chart. You see it right now. Miles Sanders is on your screen. Obviously, Boston Scott and Elijah Holyfield. That's it. Those are your really 3 active running backs you have right now. Now, Holyfield does fit the mold of a big back. He is kind of a bruiser, a short yardage guy. It's what Carolina wanted him to do whenever they drafted him, and then, of course, he never really turned out to be, or maybe I think he was an undrafted free agent. Either way, they got him way late in the NFL draft, or he was an undrafted free agent. Either way, Holyfield is not the answer. It's why we're getting the news that Philadelphia is looking at a big back. So, your draft picks, as you see here, you have 8 total, but the big ones to circle in are the 3 in the 4th round. 3 picks in the 4th round. You get a lot of options at making a pick for a running back, and so your top 4 big backs in the NFL are as you see them: A.J. Dillon, Patrick Taylor Jr. out of Memphis, and Antonio Gibson out of Memphis as well. Those are the kind of the big 3, and then there's a couple more there. You see the running back out of TCU as well. All of them are over 217 pounds. The majority of them are in the 230 to 240 range, especially A.J. Dillon out of Boston College, probably the best big back that Philadelphia could target in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round of the NFL draft. Big back, again, it's interesting. The Eagles have not really been known to be a big back team. They had Darren Sproles, LaShawn McCoy, Miles Sanders, Brian Westbrook. I mean, you look at big backs in the Eagles' history, there aren't a lot. Go back to Deuce Staley's probably the biggest one they've had in most recent years. If they want to just get a good running back, the best 4 are as follows: Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Taylor and Swift are big backs as well. Jonathan Taylor is a bruiser, but also has Saquon Barkley-type talent. So if they wanted to not just get a big running back, but get a really good running back, maybe look at these 4 guys right here. I think if the Eagles got Jonathan Taylor in the 2nd round, it might not be the biggest need because linebacker's a need. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Wide receiver's a need, obviously. Defensive end is a need. Cornerback maybe might be a need. If they were able to get Jonathan Taylor in this draft and still fix the rest of the holes, that'd be a very, very impressive draft for the Philadelphia Eagles. Quick ad break here on YouTube. I want you guys to answer the pinned comment down below. You'll see it's, I think, the very top comment in the YouTube channel right now. Do the Eagles need another running back? Type Y down below for yes. Type N down below for no. I want to gauge from you guys what you guys are thinking here in terms of needing another running back. Y for yes, N for no. Go answer that pinned comment. All right, moving on. I was reading all about Philadelphia and in terms of looking at wide receivers, as I do like almost every single day, breaking down what wide receiver I want the Eagles to go ahead and draft. And I started to look at the history and remember back to recent Philadelphia Eagle drafts that I was watching, and I went, wait a second. We don't have a very good track record of drafting wide receivers. And I started doing my research going all the way back to when I was a kid, and it was like, wait a second, we're terrible at drafting wide receivers, and I wanted to bring this up to you guys. Can we get the right guy? Like, do we trust the Eagles to draft the right running back? Now, Philadelphia's been really good drafting other positions. They drafted good defensive ends. They drafted good cornerbacks. Way back, Lito Shepherd, Sheldon Brown, great safeties, Brian Dawkins. But at the same time, they have struggled to go ahead and draft wide receivers. And the question is, can Howie Roseman nail this position in the NFL draft? Here are some picks since 2008. I went back to 2008. Here are the wide receivers the Eagles have taken in the NFL draft. Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, Brandon Gibson, Riley Cooper, Jordan Matthews, Nelson Aguilar, Josh Huff, Matt Collins, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and Shelton Gibson. And, of course, one not mentioned is Marvin McNutt, who we all know never really turned out to be good for Philadelphia at all. But I want to go back to that first list. You have Deshaun Jackson, we know was good. You have Jeremy Maclin, you know he was good as well. Those two are probably the two best receivers the Eagles have drafted since 2008. Think about that. They were good, but they weren't that great. Both of them left Philadelphia. One is back right now in Deshaun Jackson, but he's probably the best one on this list. I mean, Brandon Gibson was never turned out to anything. Riley Cooper was so brief, and then, of course, got, into trouble with his language and stuff at that concert, and that's a whole different story we won't talk about. Jordan Matthews, I thought was going to be very, very good. I bought a Jordan Matthews jersey, and then he, again, no longer on the team, came back, didn't really do much, caught that one touchdown in the Saints game, but still never really did anything. Aguilar, a love-hate relationship for a lot of Eagle fans. He was great in Super Bowl 52, was really, really good in that Super Bowl. I went back and watched that film a couple days ago, and Aguilar was, we got to give him credit, was good in that game. But, of course, last year, terrible. The dropped catch in the Falcons game. Josh Huff never was good. He was supposed to be a deep threat guy, was never that great. Matt Collins is still on the team, but has done practically nothing since his rookie year. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is too early to tell, and Shelton Gibson, again, has just not produced at the level that I think people want him to go ahead and get to. And again, those are your guys. I mean, are there any other people that I'm missing here? Those are the Eagles wide receivers they have drafted, which has left us in the situation we are in right now, where the Eagles have got to get a wide receiver in the NFL draft. Hopefully, they are able to get one of these four guys. Before we talk about those, though, be sure to subscribe to Philadelphia Eagles now. We just hit 7,000 subs, which I greatly appreciate. Let's keep that train rolling. How about 7,500? How about 8,000 subs? If you like the channel, go ahead and click the red subscribe button. Also, click the notification bell. That way you're notified whenever we go ahead and do these videos, live videos, rumors, news, draft stuff. We cover all things Philadelphia here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Now, the four wide receivers we've talked about here, if you've come to get some new names, well, you're not going to get any new ones because CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs are your top three in terms of potential ones that you can go ahead and get if you were up earlier in the draft. But none of those guys are going to be there at number 21, as we keep saying. So, some wide receivers who will be there, like we said, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Laviska Shenault, Denzel Mims, all guys that should be there and should be good to go at number 21 overall. Maybe Ruggs falls, maybe Ruggs falls. That's kind of unlikely, though. I think Justin Jefferson or T. Higgins is probably the choice there at number 21 overall. Yes, T. Higgins is getting a little bit of draft hype right now inside Philadelphia Eagle corners. We'll probably talk about that a little bit later on this week. But those are your guys. Hopefully one of them turns out to be better than the list that I showed you guys earlier of terrible wide receivers the Eagles have drafted over the past couple of years. Question for you guys here: how do you see how much you guys trust Howie Roseman? I see a lot in Howie we trust. Geez, I gotta spit that one out there in the comments section. Do you trust him to draft the right wide receiver after seeing the list of bad receivers he's gotten? Type 1 down below for yes, you trust him. Type 2 down below for no, you do not trust him. Okay. I want you guys to buckle up for this final bit of news, okay? Buckle up. I want you guys to focus. Don't go to the comment section and start getting all crazy when you first hear this. I want you guys to focus, okay? Kenneth Murray at 21. Okay, what do you think? Kenneth Murray at number 21 overall, the linebacker out of Oklahoma. Yes, that is getting a little bit more traction over the past couple of days than it has over the past couple of weeks. So we know that everybody, including myself, expects a wide receiver at number 21 overall. But what if the right wide receiver is not there? Like, what if Philadelphia decides to go a different direction? Is linebacker going to be that choice at 21? It's like cornerback, linebacker. Linebacker, to me, a lot more important than a cornerback right now. And if you need to get a linebacker at 21 overall, your really only option is Kenneth Murray if he's there, if he gets past Oakland earlier on in the draft at number 21 overall. He's hard to pass on, if I'm being honest, at number 21 based on the Eagles' depth chart and based on the linebackers that are currently on this team. Like, yes, they went and got Jatavis Brown, and they have T.J. Edwards, and Nathan Gary, for whatever reason, is a fan favorite. People love Nathan Gary, because I ripped Nathan Gary like a month ago on the channel, and people are like, oh my gosh, Nathan Gary is just so great. Is he? Like, do any of these linebackers make you go, wow, we are really, really good at linebacker. We don't need another linebacker. No, none of them do, honestly. And even Brown, who you signed on a one-year deal this offseason, is not a solution to a big, big problem Philadelphia has had for a long time since they let go of Michael Kendricks and they let go, obviously, of Nigel Bradham. Now, the last time at Philadelphia, actually got a linebacker is very long ago. Before I give you guys the exact date and the last guy that they got, think about who it is, but also answer the question here. Should the Eagles draft a linebacker? Type A down below for yes, type B down below for no. I'm actually going to type A. They've got to get a linebacker at some point in this draft. Now, I mentioned, last time the Eagles drafted a linebacker in the first round, do you remember when it was? Well, maybe you weren't born, because I wasn't. It was 1979. They got Jerry Robinson from UCLA. Anyone remember Jerry Robinson from UCLA? I, for one, do not. I watched a little bit of old... not even film. I saw some pictures of him as I was looking at my research on Jerry Robinson. But that was the last time Philadelphia took a linebacker in the first round, meaning if they're going to do it this year, it's got to be for a very good player, and I think Kenneth Murray is that guy. Here's what the NFL.com had to say about Kenneth Murray. Quote, sleek, playmaking linebacker with chiseled frame and long arms. Murray's game is predictable on speed with an ability, or predicated on speed with an ability to fly around from sideline to sideline, rolling up tackles. While his twitchy bursts allow him to make more plays than the average linebacker, he will overflow to ball carriers at times. Now, Kenneth Murray, again, talked about him, great linebacker out of Oklahoma, a linebacker I've seen in person, I've covered in person. He is the real deal. Don't hear Big 12 and get scared away by Kenneth Murray. He can play at the next level and has shown that many, many times over his career at Oklahoma. Now, you could start him at middle linebacker, but he'd be safer to start at the outside and then work his way to becoming the middle linebacker of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's not a project, but he's not going to come in and be Devin White or Devin Bush, the linebacker who were drafted by Tampa Bay and, of course, the Steelers, respectively, last year. He's going to be great, though. He's going to be very, very good. And I think if Kenneth Murray is not taken before number 21 and the Eagles feel comfortable enough to wait to the second round to get a wide receiver, Murray could be the non-wide receiver we see at number 21 overall. That's all the things we have to talk about today. I wanted to get into the running back, I wanted to get into the linebacker, and I really wanted to share the idea that Philadelphia stinks at drafting wide receivers. Hopefully they fix that this year. Good Lord, they have got to. Well, we're going to have to go ahead and wait and see. All the time we have for today for Philadelphia Eagles Now, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.